Okay, so good afternoon and good evening and good morning everyone and welcome back in today's class. Today we are on the day number 23rd, 23 I'll say yes, 23, and we are on the topic called the analyze the current state. So basically what we're discussing in these things is all the techniques that what I can do to analyze the current state. Okay, but I yesterday I was going through this book or the remaining chapters as well, 6, 7, 8 chapters. Basically up to the 8th we have to be complete. Okay, it is ऐसा नहीं है कि जो टेक्निक्स हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं ये सिर्फ इसी प्रोसेस के लिए इसी स्टेप के लिए चलेगी नहीं. I saw a lot of places the same techniques are used. So then I conclude that the topic which we started, what is the business analyst, we are discussing on the techniques. क्योंकि if you want to do any work, you should know the technique, you should know the method, you should know the formula to do that part. Now let's say if I want to conduct this training, I should know the technique, how to convince the people in the training so that they can understand my thing. Now tomorrow if I replace training with the consulting with the HR with the receptionist, so things are changing, but technique is still same. I'm selling something to you. I'm analyzing something to you. I'm providing something to you. So these are the techniques. The topics, definitely these are the topics which is required. We are doing day in day out, but how to do, what other methods in the market available to do this part is called the techniques here. और ऐसा नहीं है कि ये टेक्निक सिर्फ यहीं पे काम करती है. Every organization has its own technique as well. Maybe. ठीक है, like if I give you the example, I work with the company Accenture. Okay, about Accenture developed in-house a tool called the Accenture delivery method. Something is there. Okay, that is ADM kind of things is there. Accenture delivery method kind of things. So they build the complete end-to-end tracking of the project in that particular tool. And they sold out that tool to the other companies as well, to other customers as well. So it is a technique to do that part. So in this particular topic, we are discussing for the techniques, and we've done almost 70 to 80% techniques we already covered now. So we discuss on the metrics KPI, we discuss on the mind map. And now we discuss on the organizational modeling as well. Now we're coming to the process analysis. Now process analysis basically says that how you can identify the opportunities in the current state of the process. Like the example, we specifically we as a Indian, okay, हम क्या करते हैं, हम मान लीजिए कहीं गए, मॉल में गए या पासपोर्ट ऑफिस गए या मेडिकल सेंटर गए या हॉस्पिटल गए, ठीक है. इफ एवरीथिंग हैपेंड अकॉर्डिंग टू माय विश, मैं पहुंचा, मुझे डॉक्टर मिल गया, डॉक्टर ने आराम से 15 मिनट लगाए, पेशेंट को चेक किया, रिपोर्ट दी, डिस्कस किया, done. In the other case, my friend he wait 2 hours for the doctor. डॉक्टर आया 5 मिनट में, बोला अच्छा ठीक है, ओके टेस्ट करा लो, 1000 रुपए दे दो जी, आप रिपोर्ट पे लिख दे, ओके नहीं है अभी, 2 हफ्ते बाद फिर आना है, कल फिर आना. So now this is a process. Same thing happened, but the experience is different. So now we have to be identify the gaps. Like specifically if I talk about the passports office, उनका process is almost same. Either big person go or the small person go. सब कुछ same है. Everybody documents has been scanned. Everybody photo has been taken. Everybody thumbprint has been taken. Everybody will go to the particular office ahead for the allocation part. And finally, everybody get a yes or no decision on the passport issue or not. Now, if you need to be improve that, you have to be identify the gaps in that. अब बोलोगे तो ये तो बेवकूफ वाले काम है, ऑलरेडी चल रहा है प्रोसेस, उसमें मैं क्या गैप आइडेंटिफाई करूंगा. I'll give you one more example on this part. Let's come here before that. Process analysis assess a process for its efficiency and the effectiveness. Number 1 point. How efficient it is, how effective it is. ठीक है. This is the purpose of the process analysis. what it do basically, what is the purpose it includes? Recommending a more efficient or effective process. I'll give an example that these 3 or 4 points will be clear. Determine the gaps between the current and the future state. Factors of the contract negotiation. How data technology can be used in a process. Analyzing the impact of pending change to a process. Okay, when I was working in my previous work, I was working as a lead, audit leads. I go to the audit with the engineers. I say, okay, open the incident, show me what you did. Then they give us, and then fine. Then suddenly one of the day, my senior manager says, Atul, we have to work on the optimization of the process now. I said, boss, everything is already done here. There's nothing to be optimized. बोला नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. अगर ऑप्टिमाइज हो जाएगा ना तो तुम्हारी और मेरी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. That is the ideal situation. मैंने कहा अच्छा बताओ भाई, because I was not from the QA background or Six Sigma or Lean kind of things, but he was from the Six Sigma Lean. He done the certifications. Then he said, Atul, go number 1, identify the top 10 service request. I said okay. मैं 2-3 टीम्स के पास गया जो जिसके साथ मुझे ऑडिट करना था, उनके पास गया. मैंने कहा भाई मुझे अपने पिछले 6 महीने का डेटा भेजो. सबने भेज दिया 6 महीने का डेटा. Definitely it's very large. When you work in a big telecom providers kind of a company, the count is very high. मेरे पास approximate 2,500-3,000 requests आ गई. Then I put my mind to filter out that part. Category wise, resolution code wise, catalog item wise, workflow wise, kind of things. I start dividing that part. At last, after 1 week, I am able to identify the top 10 requests. Now my manager says, go to the 5, 6, 7 engineers for each of the type and listen them and ask them, perform this action in front of you. I said, okay. मैंने एक engineer पकड़ा, उसने मैंने बोला सर तुम्हारे पास जब request, when you get this request, how you behave? He said, first of all, we open the ticket. Okay. Then we analyze the ticket. I said, कितना time लगता है analyze होने में? 4 से 5 मिनट आप लगा सकते हो. Okay. Okay. Then after analyzing, if it is quick we do it. Otherwise, we'll put on the hold or maybe put on the batch. कि भाई इसको शाम को देखेंगे जब main working hours खत्म हो जाएंगे. So in this, what I'm telling you basically, what I did, I performed the time, time activity, something. I forget the complete name of that particular activity. Okay, time effect or time, some time activities there. It means I'm analyzing that process from the time perspective. कि boss कितना time लगता है एक activity को complete करने में? Can I reduce that time by providing more knowledge article to the agents, to making them efficient and the effective? Time box activity, something. What is there? Sorry?
Different time?
Different time.
Resolution time.
No. This activity is called something. It's time, task time or something is there. ये particular ये मतलब जो मैंने the thing I'm telling you, there is this concept called it time-based activity or activity time. Something is there. I'm forgetting the full or the correct definition of the name here. But मैं time check करता हूँ, हर activity का time check करता हूँ कि एक activity करने में कितना time लगता है. Let's take example. यार अतुल के sessions ना अच्छे होते हैं, but अतुल का जो introduction है ना, that it takes 7 to 8 minutes. Then main points he covers is 3 to 4 minutes and summary again 7 to 8 minutes. We have to reduce the introduction and put more pressure on the middle part. ये effectiveness और efficiency की बात हो रही है यहाँ पर. अब कैसे improve किया जाए? That we have to do in the process analysis. So mainly यहाँ पर in this particular activity you do the current state activity analysis from the process perspective. कितना time, कहाँ, क्यों, कैसे, कब लग रहा है? And later on you identify the gaps and remove that. I know that after analyzing after discussing with 10 engineers, I came to know that none of them do anything on this particular request. They just assign the request to the L2 team, but they're spending time in between. Let's remove that step and directly assign this type of incidents or the request to the L2 team. ये आपने time saving किया. Okay, so in this area specifically, what we do, we use the Six Sigma or the Lean as a techniques. Six Sigma is basically to improve the part. Lean basically जो कचरा होता है ना उसको निकालना कहते हैं यहाँ पे lean. मतलब कि आपके प्रोसेस में अगर कुछ ऐसे स्टेप्स हैं जो which you think it's kind of a trash for you, कचरा है ये, मतलब इनका ना होना या होना एक बराबर है, तो बेटर इनको हटा दो आप. लीन करना होता ना कि मैं बहुत थिन हूँ, मैं बहुत हैवी हूँ, मुझे लीन होना है. लीन बॉडी मतलब कि आपके जो बॉडी में से जो अननेसेसरी स्टेप्स हैं, अननेसेसरी फैट है, उसको हटा देना. इज कॉल्ड द लीन हेयर. Method of process improvement includes value stream mapping, important point which we discuss further. Strategic analysis you do, process simulation you do, benchmarking you do, process frameworks you do. So multiple things आपको process के अंदर करने के लिए, but the main bottom line which they use is called the Six Sigma and Lean. ये अलग type के framework है totally. In like we have the ITL, the same way we have a Six Sigma, yellow belt, black belt. Some belts are there. Lean is, I guess, foundation and the practitioner, then the admin or something is there, expertise is there. Okay, but we are going to be discussing mainly two methods in this particular technique which has been given in book. Common changes to the made process in order to improve them include reducing the time required to complete a task. भाई मुझे इस बैच को, after this batch I will analyze that why I spend more than 30 hours in this training when I know this can be completed in the 29 hours as well. I need to identify the gaps where I can reduce the things. Maybe some topics had to be reduced a little bit. Some topics had to be enhanced. Modifying interface or handoff between roles. Elimination of the bottleneck. When you start analyzing the process step by step, let's take example, normal example. I make a cup of tea. Okay. My wife also make a cup of tea. But मेरी जो चाय बनती है, that is not as good as which she make. She guide me, I prepare. अच्छा इतना पानी डालो, इतना चीनी डालो, इतना चाय पत्ती डालो, इतना इलायची डालो, इतना थोड़ा सा अदरक डालो, उबालो, इतना दूध डालो, उबालो, छानो. Now things are going fine. But ये जो बोला उबालो, this is the one bottleneck now. क्योंकि इस बॉइलिंग के चक्कर में मेरी चाय खराब हो जाती है. या तो मैं बहुत कम उबालता हूं कि वो कच्ची रह जाती है, या मैं इतना उबालता हूं कि वो पक जाती है बहुत सारी. तो वी हैव टू बी मॉडिफाई इंटरफेसेस और एलिमिनेट द बोटलनेक. बॉस ये उबालने वाला बोटलनेक है. या तो मुझे बताओ कि भाई आपको 5 मिनट नंबर 5 पे उबालनी है चाय, बिकॉज लाइक हियर वी यूज द इंडक्शन. सो उसका फिक्स है 1 से 12 के डिग्रीज होती हैं. शुरू करो 12 से, जब दूध डाल दिया उसके बाद 5 नंबर पे इसको उबालो 5 मिनट के लिए. ये दो लोगों का चाय अगर आपको बनाना तो ही तरीका है. सो व्हाट शी इज डूइंग, by process improvement she is eliminating the bottlenecks here. And if I try after 2-3 days again, definitely the tea will be similar taste which she prepare. Automate the steps, one or more. When you do the specifically when you do the process analysis, now see why. Now the question comes, why this point is not come on the top. क्योंकि पता है, because this is the fact. Automation is not the first step. Automation is the last step. When you reduce the time, when you standardize the things, and then you automate the things. Clear? Now if I take the example of the passport again, I'm sure definitely we all are from the same region, from the Mumbai, Maharashtra. Even I have the passport from Pune. Okay, if you notice that earlier approximately 5-10 years back, and now the process is totally different. जब मैं अपने होम टाउन में था 2008 में, जब मैंने पहली बार पासपोर्ट अप्लाई किया था, आई नो कि मुझे पुलिस के पास भी जाना पड़ा था. They want to see that who is the actual person, who is Atul Grover. मैंने फॉर्म भरा, वो वहाँ हमारे कोर्ट में गया, कोर्ट में सेंक्शन हुआ, फिर वहाँ से आगे सिटी में गया, वहाँ पर सेंक्शन हुआ, फिर वहाँ से इंक्वायरी आई. द इंक्वायरी विल कॉल मी कि बॉस तुम्हें आना पड़ेगा, तुम्हें देखना है मैं कौन है. They visit to my house as well, then I go there and all the things will be there. Nowadays you see there's no paperwork. You fill online, tomorrow you get the appointment if time is available. This is the automation they done. Do you think they done on the first point? No. First they standardize the process कि बॉस across India में आप process को standardize करो. उन्होंने process standardize किया, 5 step बना दिए इसके. Then they think कि bottleneck कहां पर, उसको हटाने का try करो. पुलिस वालों का काम जो bottleneck था. Let put some criteria कि if you are be applying for a child, no requirement of the police verification. If you are applying more than 18 years old guy, it depends on the basis of the documents you are providing. And then they finally automate. पहले आपको फोन आता था, अच्छा भाई आपके अपॉइंटमेंट आ जाओ. Now you book the appointment कि बॉस मैं परसों खाली हूँ, परसों का स्लॉट है तो मैं लेता हूँ. They done this automation part. How they improve? आज भी प्रोसेस, टुडे आल्सो द प्रोसेस इज सेम. आपको आज भी पासपोर्ट के लिए पासपोर्ट अप्लाई ही करना पड़ेगा, फॉर्म भरना ही पड़ेगा. They did not change that part. They changed the process steps only. Process analyze किया उन्होंने. ठीक है. So when analyzing a process, business analysts look for the multiple parameters. How the process add or create a value. See now passport. मैं रात को अप्लाई करता हूँ, सुबह के लिए मुझे अपॉइंटमेंट मिल जाता है. If I have a document ready, I can go for the appointment tomorrow. कुछ भी नहीं करना, फॉर्म लेके जाओ, स्लिप लेके जाओ, बॉस आपका नंबर है, जाओ अंदर, हो गया. What value? How the value will be added or the created? How the process aligned to the organization goal? Like you see this thing, IRCTC. In the IRCTC, when we book the तत्काल tickets, 100 में से किसी एक को टिकट मिलता था. But now they standardize the process. They automate the things. कि boss, if you want to travel via train on the tatkal basis, better you fill your passenger detail beforehand in the form and use that only. They're improving it. उन्होंने चेक लगाया कि लोग पहले 1 घंटा पहले बैठे थे कि 5 मिनट से ज्यादा आपका सेशन नहीं चलेगा. So that you log in on the same time only. ठीक है. Now what are the elements here? What are the factors here? इसमें ज्यादा डिस्कशन का कुछ नहीं है. Simple normal English है. You have to be identify the gap and area to improve. You have to be think how I can improve the processes. और वो कैसे होगा? That you can do by seeing, observing, documentation, reading कि मुझे क्या क्या है मेरे प्रोसेस में, चल क्या रहा है, this process क्या है मेरा. If I talk about the elements, every element talk about the 2 things, gap और improvement. That's all. इसमें और इन 4 एलिमेंट के अलावा इसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. देखो यहाँ पर भी यही आइडेंटिफाई गैप एंड एरिया ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट. ठीक है, वो 5 पॉइंट में यही लिखेगा. इसमें वही आइडेंटिफाई द रूट केस. रूट कॉज किसका? गैप का. हमने रूट कॉज आइडेंटिफाई किया पासपोर्ट का कि बॉस पुलिस इंक्वायरी में बॉटम रहता था. Let's minimize that part. Let's have a faith on our country people. Let's put some criteria. So identify the root cause for that. That ये क्यों हो रहा है? I identify, my wife identify कि भाई आपकी चाय क्यों खराब बन जाती है हर बार? Because you did not boil up to the mark. आप हड़बड़ी में बनाते हो, मैं 5 बोलते हूँ, आप 3 मिनट में उबाल के ले आते हो. जो 2 मिनट का मार्जिन है, that is causing an issue here. Multiple times happens. I cook food and my friend cook food. When he cook, people say, wow, it's good. When I cook, people say, it's okay. He put 1 hour, I put 35 minutes. ये root cause है. Same आलू प्याज टमाटर हमने सेम बराबर काटे, नमक मिर्ची भी हमने बराबर डाली. But the variation is there. That time he is putting more to get it settled down. उसको पता है कि मुझे कब सिम करना है, कब हाई करना है अपनी गैस को. मुझे लगता है कि हाँ 5 मिनट हो गया, चलो बंद सिम कर दो, हो गया, बन जाएगी दाल. हमने तो खाने को फर्क पड़ता है. So you have to be identify the root cause here. There can be multiple root cause. Number 1 point. The input leads to a gap and area of improvement. जो आपका gap है वो भी आपको root cause को identify करने में help कर सकते हैं. Who the right people to identify the root cause? इंजीनियर्स जो होते हैं ना, जो डेस्कटॉप ये सर्विस इंजीनियर्स होते हैं या सर्विस डेस्क इंजीनियर होते हैं, these are the right people if you want to improve your process. वो आपको ये तक बता सकते हैं कि इस फॉर्म में इस वाले फाइल की कोई जरूरत नहीं, हम यूज ही नहीं करते, फालतू में आपने रखा हुआ है. For you it's a field, but for me as a consultant it's a waste. मैं अननेसेसरी अपना फॉर्म लो हाई हैवी कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, तो वो चीज, और उसके बाद जनरेट द इवैल्यूएट ऑफ द एक्शन। सोचो कि इसको फिक्स करने के क्या वेज हो सकते हैं। नंबर वन पॉइंट, इफ आई से इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी दैट एवरी रूट कॉज हैज अ टेक्निकल फिक्स, नो, some root cause has a education part. One of my friend raised a change and his change is rejected by every time he identified the root cause. कि बॉस मैं मेजर इंफॉर्मेशन लिखता नहीं हूँ, या नीचे लिखता हूँ, या बोल्ड नहीं करता हूँ, and he find out. Then we educate him that boss, you are doing something wrong. Follow these ways to do. Make it bold. If you're voting any server name, make it bold so that it should become to the eyes quickly. Now to do that part, we have a few methods here. SIPOC. It is a method of the Six Sigma methodology. It deals in the 6 major areas: supplier, inputs, process, output, and the customer. मुझे ज़्यादा क्लियर नहीं है, but let try this part क्योंकि पिक्चर अच्छी है इसकी. So what they did, they says, boss, divide your complete process in these 5 areas. Who is supplier? What input you want? What is the purchase? What is the process you're doing? Maybe purchase, sale, overdraft, credit, loan. What kind of a process you're doing? What output you're expecting? And what is the customer who is taking care of that part? Now, only for the purchase process, they have these many things. Maybe for the sales, they have something different. For the loss, they have something different. For the transport, they have something different. So what they say is, in this model, try to divide the process in these 5 sections and then divide the major activities under the process. Generally, I did not use this till point, I can say. But because this is not from the ITIL side, this is from the Six Sigma side. So if you know Six Sigma, then you know a lot of other methods as well. And another method this says value stream mapping. Something similar ये भी ऐसे ही है, लेकिन थोड़ा सा अलग क्या होगा इसमें, पिक्चर दिखाते हैं इसकी. ये इसने बोला बॉस ये बताओ वैल्यू स्ट्रीम मतलब कि किसके लिए आप काम कर रहे हो. बॉस एक सप्लायर है, कस्टमर है. अच्छा ठीक है, सप्लायर है ना, उसका प्रोसेस ऐसे बांटो, कस्टमर्स का प्रोसेस ऐसे बांटो, और यहाँ पर आप टाइम नोट करो कितना कितना टाइम लगता है. Because this time will help you to identify that is this time adding any value or not. हो सकता है when my wife says please boil the tea for the 5 minutes, that 5 minutes is adding a value, but 7 minutes is not adding a value, it's destroying my tea. तो ये फर्क हो सकता है यहाँ पे, ठीक है. So in this method, in these 2 ways, we basically do this thing part. But in the overall process analysis picture, we have to be identify that where my process gaps are there and how we can do that part. Because in the above techniques, we see the organization, we see the modeling. Now we're talking about the specific process कि बस मुझे improve किसको करना है, ठीक है. Then strengths अच्छा है, good है, minimize value based रहता है, but it is so much time consuming, so much. And again, it depends on the thinking of the person who is preparing the process modeling or the doing the process analysis. उसका कितना hold उस process के ऊपर, that is the one of the parameter here. Yes, any doubt, any question here?
So anything from ITL side, अभी Six Sigma का example दिया आपने, ITL में नहीं है अपना?
Yes है ना. ITL is not having any technique on this part. ITL just having the processes. If you want to improve that processes, then you have to use Six Sigma on the lean. ठीक है. Directly or indirectly, we're using lean somewhere. Let's say example, you have an incident management process or you have a loan given process. You say नहीं यार इसमें थोड़ा सा improvement का chances है. How you say that it is an improvement chances? Because you know that there are some areas which we can remove it. Indirectly, you're using the lean. Indirectly, you're using the some Six Sigma technique, but not directly because you don't know that particular things. And ITIL just give us the processes, not the improvements things. ITIL says if you want to improve, you have to do the PDCA. Post, yes, yeah, post the PDCA, right? Post, do, check and act. ये ODA करके होता है, OODA. Observe, out और कुछ ऐसे है इसका. Observe, do, act and apply, something like this. It has done. ठीक है. But if you want to improve the processes, then you should know the Six Sigma, the lean techniques. That is important. That is the thing which has come under the quality assurance team. कि बस quality assurance team यही काम करती है. Process improvements and all. Okay. Let's come to the next part. Root cause analysis. Under this, we have discussed almost this. Now let's come back here. Root cause analysis क्या होता है basically? This is one of the area in the problem management. मेरी गाड़ी बार बार खराब हो रही है. What is the root cause here? I'll directly come to the clear picture of this. When something is happening again and again and again and again, and you don't have any answer that why it is be happening, then you do the root cause analysis. It can be reactive, it can be proactive. Amazon ने सेल लगाई, सेल ओपन होते ही सर्वर बैठ गया. They learn something, that is a reactive. Next year, Amazon has a sale, but they're ready with their data structure, their data centers completely. They build their infrastructure because they know that in the last year sale, people complained that they're not able to log in even in the Amazon website. So these two are the major points, reactive or the proactive root cause analysis we do. आग लगने के बाद, ये आग लगने से पहले. When you know कि भाई last year भी कुछ ऐसा हुआ था, the chances it can be happen again. So better be ready for the future now. Okay. Now if I come here, 4 major parts. Define the problem definition, data collect, cause identify karo, action karo. But I'm more interested in the techniques. That what techniques we follow. There's a technique called the Fishbone Technique. Let me show you something. देखो ये ना, ये. This is a technique, Fishbone Technique. मतलब कि क्या, इसके हर इस रूट पे आपका एक कॉज छिपा हुआ है. And you have to be identify. See, so smart guys. See, this is that is it's called the fishbone क्योंकि fish का ऐसे ही फॉर्मेट में हमारा काम करता है. Now if I come on this picture part, okay, yeah, what it says that about what is your problem statement here and what is the effect and why it is be happening. Let's put the reasons for the same. One of my friend kid has been failed 3 times, 2 times in a same class. There is a problem. Effect is very bad. What are the causes for the same? Number 1 cause, his community, his friendships, his friends. Number 2nd cause, his mental health. 3rd cause, family pressure. 4th cause, maybe some eyesight issue, maybe some memory issue. In this particular fishbone, you just put the causes which may or may not be directly related to the effect of the problem statement. But this picture will, at the last, this picture will say that these are the major causes of this problem, which we need to be fixed. So like this, if I say show you here. Here. Problem है. Material can be one of the problem. Measurement is one of the problem. Methods can be one of the cause. Sorry, cause. Environment is another cause. Let me show you the Fishbone technique here. देखो मेनली जैसे ये है. In the interview, in ITIL interview, this question has been asked specifically in the if you're going applying for a problem management role. So like this they have done. This says basically the problem statement says 4 major areas. We call it as a 4 piece: process, people, process, partner, and the product. This is machine, material, method, and the people. Under this you have a one more options you can put in machinery, what I'm talking about here. But this is one of the techniques which help you to identify the root cause. Maybe up to the mark 100% or maybe 70, 80, 90%. It will able to help you. Okay, but this is very important technique. This technique basically we use when some major incident happen in our team, in our project. Okay, the second technique which they say is the 5 whys and 1 H. It says if you are a good business analyst, you should ask the same question 5 times. Why you want this? What is the benefit of this? When you want this? Who is going to benefit with this? And one more is there, 5 whys. Let me show you here 5 whys. Generally 5 whys and 1 H work. Either. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. That why this thing be happening. Or like this. Why? Generally 5 why says the why. मैं चाय बना रहा था. क्यों? क्योंकि भूख लग रही थी. शाम हो गई थी. अच्छा, भूख क्यों लग रही थी? क्योंकि सुबह नाश्ता नहीं किया था. अच्छा, सुबह नाश्ता क्यों नहीं किया था? क्योंकि मैं लेट उठा था. फिर लेट क्यों उठे थे? क्योंकि मैं कल रात को ट्रैवलिंग कर रहा था. ट्रैवलिंग क्यों कर रहे थे? क्योंकि मुझे किसी से मिलने जाना था. So after this 5 whys, you are able to identify the root cause कि बॉस इसको लंच के टाइम पे या इसको शाम को चाय पीने के बाद चक्कर क्यों आए? क्योंकि ये कल से ट्रैवलिंग में था जिसकी वजह से इसको प्रॉपर फूड नहीं मिला. फूड ना मिलने से इसने चिप्स या जो ये है स्नैक्स खा के अपना काम करा, जिसकी वजह से फ्रेश नहीं हो पाया, गैस बन गया जब इसने शाम को चाय पी. दैट गैस गिव अ रॉन्ग इफेक्ट एंड दैट हैज बीन causing a issue here. This is the 5 whys. लड़ाई मत करना घर पे, बस 5 वाइज लेके अपनी वाइफ से बोलो क्यों शॉपिंग पे गई थी, क्यों नहीं गई थी, किसने बोला था, ये सब चीजें. बट यस, दीज आर द important technique in that. Specifically in the problem statement, problem management, we use these techniques. Good to go है, अच्छे हैं, आपको clear objective मिलता है, but sometimes not sure that how to evaluate that part. Is the traveling is the one of the reason that this guy fainted when he take the in the evening tea, or there is some other reason as well. ठीक है, clear यहाँ तक हितेश and सूरज?
Yes, sir.
हितेश आवाज नहीं आई यार. हितेश कहेगा? Okay, now let's come to the second last technique of this particular topic. I'm telling you, only this chapter has a lot of techniques. उसके बाद maximum chapters has only 1 or 2 techniques, a new techniques need to be discussed. Otherwise, कहीं तो 0 technique है जो मैं discuss ही नहीं करनी है. Now that's called a SWOT. बहुत पुराना है. Interview question: what is SWOT? It stands for the 4 major parameters: strength, weakness, opportunity, and the threats. That is called a SWOT. But इसका सबसे बड़ा the biggest drawback of this particular technique is that it's totally on the human who is working on this particular technique. उसके mindset पे depend करता है. For me, or maybe I can say the other person as well. If in the interview asks, okay, what is your weakness? You say I'm short-tempered. But maybe for you, it is a weakness, but for him it is a opportunity to improve the things. Pressure is one of the weakness, I can say. It can be a threat for the interviewer who is be taking your interview. इसका मतलब भाई प्रेशर में तो काम नहीं कर पाएगा, ये काम गड़बड़ कर देगा. The SWOT is a good technique, but it depends on the internal or the external conditions as well. इसलिए ज्यादा नहीं चलता क्योंकि इसमें माइंडसेट्स डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं. It's not a calculation like formula calculation. No, it is totally. That's what I'm saying. If I asked Hitesh, what is your strength? Hitesh says, Atul, I'm a positive person. I'm capable to do anything if required for my work. Weakness. Sometimes I lose my temper if deadlines are approaching. I'm not delivered something good or the fruitful. So now it's depend. But on the other side, if I ask the same question to Suraj says that I can deliver the things in a quick manner. That is my strength. Either I know the topic, either don't know the topic, but I know that how to deliver. I can do that part. So that is called the SWOT here. And this is be used that basically used to identify, to analyze that where we are lacking and what is the capability we have. Like if I know that there is a one guy in my batch. I'm talking about a schooling 1992, 1990 somewhere. His name is Kapil Chaudhary. I don't know where he's in Australia somewhere. His calculation was so good. मतलब उसका calculation इतना अच्छा था. If madam is writing something on the plus or minus, he do it quickly. चलो plus minus तो हम भी quickly कर लेते हैं. But multiplication he do quickly. Turn to 14, he give the answer. मैंने जैसा अभी calculate करा था वो दे देता था answer. 1996, he give the answer. That is his strength. If he want, he can convert the strength into opportunity and maybe run the classes for the students. So in the SWOT analysis can be used to evaluate the organization current environment. Share information learned with the stakeholders. कि boss ये आपकी weakness है, ये आपके drawbacks है. Now earlier what happened that if I am working for a client, my intention was to just get a money and give service to the client. But now the mechanism has been completely changed. And what it has been become now, if I am working for a client, I'm providing service to the client, then it's my responsibility to increase that value for the client as well. And client also help me to get the more business as well. How you do? We do this thing from the SWOT analysis. Identify the best possible option to meet organization needs. Adjust and redefine the plans for the project as a new need phase. In short, if I show you something here, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Strength is anything that assessed group does well. Strength मतलब कि जो आपने अच्छा किया है. That is a strength, anything that assessed group does well. Weakness, action or function that assessed group does poorly or not at all. भाई मैं चाय तो अच्छी बनाता हूँ, लेकिन चाय सर्विंग मेरी बेकार है. मैं स्टील के गिलास में चाय लेके आ जाता हूँ. That is a wrong. That is a weakness. Opportunities, external factors of which we assess group may be able to take advantage. Here, he is able to make a good like let's say you have a movie called Yarana, Amitabh Bachchan, right? And who is the counterpart for this? I guess Amitabh Bachchan and who was there?
Gabbar का role जो किया था.
Yes.
Amjad Khan.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now see, Amjad Khan has a contacts in the industry, but Amitabh Bachchan just has a voice. That voice is strength, but he cannot communicate with anyone. That is his weakness. That Amjad Khan assess that particular strength and convert into the opportunity. कि बॉस मेरे को गाना नहीं आता लेकिन मेरे कॉन्टैक्ट्स हैं, इसको गाना आता लेकिन इसको कम्युनिकेट करना नहीं आता, let me take opportunity and launch him into the new market. So see, may include the new markets, new technology changes in the competitive market and other forces. Amjad Khan knows that his voice will definitely make a difference in the market. He pick up that as an opportunity. Now, threat. External factors that can negatively affect the assessed group. एक गाने में थोड़ा सुर खराब हो गया, लोगों ने चिल्लाना शुरू कर दिया. That is called the threat. ठीक है? So whenever we are doing any business, we want to be analyze something, we have to analyze in these 4 categories. What is my strength? What is my opportunity? What is my threat? And what is my weakness? If I show you something here, this thing, SWOT. Easy to say, तो बहुत easy लग रहा है, लेकिन ऐसा है नहीं. Everybody has their own way of definition of a SWOT. Someday delivery within the city. Same day delivery within the city. That is a strength. Weakness क्या is, मतलब if I talk about the Garter e-commerce, something is there, they have done that part. What is the weakness? Costly है इसका, कोई subscription नहीं है इनका. That is a weakness. How the things change. Zomato know that people are using Zomato in India a very high level, a blindly, like I can say. He was delivering the things on the time, but suddenly he reduced the time. He was आधे घंटे में आपके घर पे डिलीवरी होगी, 15 मिनट में आपके डिलीवरी होगी. Grofer, I'm not sure that company has been renamed or it has been acquired by the company called the Blinkit. When they come to the market again with the name of the Blinkit, they says within the 10 minutes you will get a product at your home. They know their strength and they convert to the opportunities. By seeing this, Zomato also launched that part. That is a threat. कि अगर कल किसी vendor ने ऐसा कर दिया, then what will be happen? If government says no, I cannot go ahead with this rule, because in this case your drivers drive very rash, fast. It can be threat to a human being. No, not possible. So in these manners, these big companies analyze the SWOT part. What is the strength? What is the weakness? What is the threat? And I build that part. Definitely usage is very good. Clear cut picture आपको मिलता है, but analysis that is very high level view. Because the top bosses who are doing this SWOT analysis, they don't know that what is happening in the ground. Being a process consultant, I go and say in the market, hey, our processes are the best. But when I go to the audit to the same process for an agent in my company, he says, क्या process बनाया घटिया? I have to wait, forcefully have to wait for the 5 minutes until these things get over. These are the things. The reason it is very high level. And I always say, if you want to know the pain area, go to the actual user who is using this thing. They can give you a lot of information that how to improve. And then remember the people from our stakeholder part. That is a doc kind of things. They always reach out to you. अरे ये method भी है, इसको हम improve कर सकते हैं क्या? They will give you the paths. They will give the directions. They will give the leads to make improvements. Clear, boss? Any doubt? Any question? Yes, Suraj.
No.
Okay. Clear. No means clear नहीं है या सब clear हो गया है?
ये SWOT usually higher management use करता है क्या?
Mainly higher management use करता है, but it is be used by some process level as well.
Okay.
ये है. If I say it is not actually higher management. जब when I was in the school or in the graduation, the post graduation, तो हमारी मैडम कहती थी, हमारे PD sessions होते थे, personal development sessions. और क्या अपने स्वेट बनाओ, चार्ट लेके अब क्या बना, उस टाइम तो अकल भी नहीं होती थी, किसी में से कॉपी पेस्ट मार के बना दिया, बट अब समझ में आता है कि क्या चीजें हैं मेरी. If you know your strengths, you can convert them in opportunity. Okay, chaliye, let's come back to the next topic. The last topic for this particular technique is called the vendor assessment. Now, in simple words, if I say, nowadays company believe कि boss, if I do this work, it will be more costly for me. Let me outsource this part. Multiple reasons can be there. Number one, let's say I want to grow in the market now. I know that I don't have the training skills, but I know there's a one friend who has a good training skills. I will take a project from the market and give it to him in the background. Margin मेरा, उसका पैसा उसको, margin मेरा बीच में. That is called the vendor assessment. Outsourcing, definitely जो outsourcing होती है, that is one of the area here. A vendor assessment assesses the ability to vendor to meet the commitment regarding the delivery and the consistent provision of a product or the service. But if I am working in a company, ठीक है, उसका टेलीकॉम से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, ठीक है. या if I say that I am working in a company and I want to be implement service now, being a company मेरा service now से कोई लेना देना नहीं है, then how I can implement? I will hire the vendors in that area, in that case. Okay, and what this says here, why knowledge or the expertise is the one of the area. Why I go to third party vendors? Because they have a good knowledge and expertise which I don't have in my company. या तो मैं hire करूं. If I hire 5 or 7 or 8 people in my company, I have to pay everything. उनका सैलरी, उनका इंश्योरेंस, उसका मेडिकल क्लेम, उसका बिलिंग, उसका हॉलीडेज, उसका फलाना, उसका ढिमकाना, उसका बोनस, उसका सब, ये सब चीजें होंगी. एंड एट द लास्ट आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग गुड. 7 लोगों से टीम नहीं बनेगी. बेटर लेट मी आउटसोर्स दैट पार्ट. सो दैट इज द थिंग व्हिच दे आर सेइंग. वी डू नॉलेज एंड एक्सपर्टाइज एंड देन वी से ओके बॉस, आप लोग मेरे लिए काम करके दे दो. Licensing and the pricing model. When you do the vendor assessment, I'm not sure that why this has been included in this area, but in the concept, but it says that if you want to grow in the market, you should know that who can provide that service, even though you don't know. Like I'm not sure that like there's a fact. There's a no official Uber का office नहीं है कोई. That is completely online. Uber खुद कुछ नहीं करता. Uber ने अपने ड्राइवर्स रखे हुए हैं. Uber की कोई गाड़ी नहीं है. Uber का नाम है. Uber just sell out with the same name. I was in London 2 or 3 weeks back. वहां पर Uber के boats भी हैं अपने. I was surprised कि boss, that is the business they're doing here. I took a cruise and on the other side there's a big boat was there, Uber boats for the sea view and all the things. Come on, I thought it's just a Uber just dealing in the taxis or the these autos or kind of things or eat. They're in this business as well. That they know मुझे कुछ नहीं करना, मुझे सिर्फ अपने से कुछ vendors hire करने हैं who has expertise in that area. Then licensing the pricing model. Whenever you are evaluating your this thing, what I can say, vendors, you have to do this part as well. Licensing and the pricing model. Ki what pricing they'll be hiring. Generally for these things na, we have a separate teams on the place. Vendor management का team होता है पूरा जो सारा काम मेरे लिए करके रखता है. Then what is the position of the vendor in the market? Ki what type of vendor I'm getting it? Is it a high profile vendor? It is a low profile vendor? Is a medium profile vendor? इसका background कैसा है? इसका blacklisting कैसा है? इसका ups कैसे है? इसके downs कैसे हैं? वो सब चीजें. Then at last depends on the terms and conditions. Means in short, I don't want to be going in much depth of this part because this is one of the area where I'm not expert. Neither you are going to be expert here because this is the one which is completely in the separate area of the vendor management. ये वो ही BA करता है. वही BA करेगा सारा काम, क्यों? उसका reputation, उसका experience. Like if I take example, every company hiring the people, right? Now the question come, how they hire? They hire by themselves and they have a vendor on the place. Maybe you get a call, hey, I'm calling from company consultancy XYZ. We have a requirement for the company this. You get another call, I'm calling from company, I'm calling from consultancy this. For this vendor. I know that if this vendor call me, they have the good clients as well. And their conversion rate is very good. So vendor experience, reputation, stability is also one of the parameters in this area. And at last, it's a time consuming because vendors find out karna, filter out karna, and able to provide in the later on. It's good. It's a risky as well. Sometimes vendor says, sorry boss, I don't have this capability anymore now. We cannot do this business for you. So these things. With this, we have completed the techniques have been mentioned in the current state. Clear till this point?
Yes, Atul.
Good.
Yes.
Now let's come back to our 2 or 3 or 4 days back session that what we studied is analyzing the current state. To do this part, what are the stakeholders we required? Every stakeholder required: customer, SME, end user, implementation, support, project manager, regulators. Everybody is required here because we're evaluating the current state. Output, we are getting the current state, that where we are standing in the multiple context, in the enterprise scoping, in the capability, in the resources, in the performance, culture, dependency, external influencer, multiple parameters. On this parameter, we are getting able to know that boss where we are standing at point of time. And this will tell me, this particular output will tell me, are we in the position to go ahead or not? This will tell me that part. क्योंकि अब मेरे पास इवेल्युएट करने के लिए, अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए चीजें आ गई हैं. And it says business requirement, the problem, opportunity, or the constraints also I came to in the current state. Clear till this?
Yes, Atul.
Yes.
Good. So now let's. Do you want to discuss further? Or you want to stop it here or close it here? This call. चलो ठीक है, कल करते हैं, ज़्यादा नहीं. We'll do it from tomorrow. Let me stop the recording here first.
Tomorrow morning, same time.
Wait. Let me stop it here, recording the first.